Hello students, today we are going to start yet another topic of Indian polity, and that is schedules of Indian Constitution. Now before we start reading about the different schedules of Indian Constitution, we need to know what are the schedules. So basically the schedules are the lists which are there within the Constitution which tabulates and categorizes various bureaucratic activities, policies of the government, and structural setup of the Indian polity. Now this is important because it basically classifies the entire setup in the Indian Constitution in different schedules. In the original Constitution which was prepared, we had 8 schedules. But over the period of 70 years, various constitutional amendments were made, and finally, at present, we have the 12 schedules in the Indian Constitution. Well, the 9th schedule was basically added by the first Constitutional Amendment Act, and it was this very constitutional amendment which was challenged in the Shankari Prasad judgment. Through this 9th schedule which was added, it provides for the protection from judicial review. It simply means those acts or those constitutional amendments which are placed here in the 9th schedule cannot be reviewed by judiciary. Then, if we move on, we have the 10th schedule which was originally created for Sikkim when it was an associate state of India, and it was added through the 35th Constitutional Amendment Act. But when Sikkim was made a permanent state of India, this again 10th schedule was made through the 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Now the question is, what does this 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act, which created 10th schedule, dealt with? Basically, it dealt with the anti-defection law. Which deals with the evil of political defection from one party to the another. Now, we have the 11th schedule as well as the 12th schedule. Now, 11th and 10th schedule basically deals with the Panchayati Raj institution, where it provided for the Panchayati Raj institution to act as the third tier of the government. While when we talk about the urban areas, it also provided for municipalities, that is municipal form of government. And it was basically provided through the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, while the Panchayati Raj was basically created by 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. So, this is all about a brief idea of the 12 schedules in the Indian Constitution. Now we will see one by one what does various schedules from schedule 1 to schedule 12 basically deals with. Now we will see the first schedule. Now first schedule of the Indian Constitution basically talks about the various states, union territories which constitutes a part of the India. So basically it deals with all the states and the union territories, their territorial extent, which can be included as a part of India. And it also includes any changes made to the borders and the extent of their territory. Now, coming on to the second schedule. Basically, second schedule of the Indian Constitution deals with the emoluments and the allowances. Now, the question arises, whose emoluments and the allowances? Basically, it deals with the emoluments and the allowances of important constitutional positions like that of President. Then we have the Vice President, then Comptroller and the Auditor General of India. It also talks about the emoluments as well as the allowances of the judges of Supreme Court and the High Court. For the second schedule, when we talk about the questions which are being asked in the examination like UPSC, you need to be very clear that what are those offices or the constitutional heads which are basically mentioned in the second schedule. While talking of third schedule, it basically deals with the third schedule deals with the oaths associated with the various constitutional offices and the position in India. Here again, when we talk about the questions being asked in the UPSC, we need to be very clear about the positions, that is the constitutional positions which are mentioned, and that those positions which are needed to take the oath, like the President takes an oath. Like the members of the parliament take the oath. So we need to be very clear the nature of the oath. Now, moving on to the fourth schedule of the Indian Constitution. Now, as we know, when we talk about the Rajya Sabha of the parliament, there are the various seats allocated to the states. And this allocation of seats to the various states is not the same. Hence, this allocation of seats to the various states in the Rajya Sabha is given in the fourth schedule. Now, moving on to the fifth schedule. So, fifth schedule basically deals with the administration and control of scheduled areas and scheduled tribes. This is basically dealt in the Schedule 5 of the Indian Constitution. Now, the question is why we need to provide for the special provision regarding the administration and the control of such areas. Actually, there are some areas in the country or some states in the country where such scheduled tribes, they are not present in such a continuity, or they do not have such a widespread presence. But again, they are present in the significant numbers, though present in a spreaded manner. So, in order to provide for the administration and the control of such scheduled areas and scheduled tribes, we have the provisions in the Schedule 5 of the Indian Constitution. Now, moving on to the Schedule 6. Schedule 6. So, in Schedule 6, we basically deal with such areas where we have the continued and the extended presence of such scheduled tribes, like in the state of Assam, in the state of Meghalaya, in the state of Tripura and Mizoram. So, there is a separate provision which provides for a greater amount of freedom be it in the administrative terms or the legislative terms or the executive terms. So, certainly So there is a scenario for the greater amount of freedom to rule or control or administer these areas according to their own wishes. Now, coming on to the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. As we know, to protect the federal character of Indian Constitution, it is in this 7th schedule only that we have separate lists, that is center list, then we have the state list, and then we also have this concurrent list. Now, what is the purpose being served by these various lists in the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution? Basically, center list contains 97 subjects, state list basically deals with 66 subjects, so concurrent list basically deals with the 47 subjects. Now, since there is a clear demarcation of subjects of the state list and center list, it certainly reduces the scope for any sort of discord between the center and state, at least with respect to these two lists. When it comes to the concurrent list, actually this is the area which certainly forms a point of discord, as this is the list on which both the center and state can stake a claim to form the laws. Now, moving on to the 8th schedule. Now, 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution basically provides a list of all the languages, which are recognized by the Constitution, and this certainly serves a purpose for the various states in terms of the languages which they want to deal with. Now, moving on to the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th schedule. As we have already discussed about these schedules in the starting of our video, hence we tend to know that 9th schedule basically deals with the first Constitutional Amendment Act, where it was simply added to protect some laws from the judicial review. 10th schedule, as we also know, it basically deals with the anti-defection, and it was added through 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Now, 11th and 12th schedule, again as we have discussed, it certainly provides for the third tier or the local government, and they were basically added by the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act respectively. So, this completes our schedules of the Indian Constitution. I hope you must have liked the video. Thank you and have a good day.